Lackadaisy?
It sounds familiar.
It's the one with the cats during the Prohibition.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Tracy J. Butler, she's oh my god, she's like that's truly like a professional. Like I told you, a lot of the times I feel like webtoons artists, and don't get me wrong, webtoons artists for the most part are entertainers, not as much as artists, because they just don't have enough time to like if you're doing something like 80 panels week by week, it's impossible to like deliver the same level of quality.
Hmm.
But like her stuff, she's actually like a professional. She worked as like a game design. I think she did I don't know like concept art. She was doing like modeling. She's like so freaking talented. And I remember have following her webcomic called Lackadaisy. It was like literally what is it's about these cats. It almost seems like it's a furry, but like not really. They're just these cats during the prohibition. It's about these cats. It almost seems like it's a furry, but like not really. Characters, you could recognize them right away. She's got like the principles of design down so well.
Okay, the
And
one I found it's called Starfighter.
oh, I know which
It's a
one you're.
yaoi. It's a yaoi.
Yeah, I've seen. That's so graphic. That's actually so graphic. But I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I was
But it
I've read it before.
actually it
Yeah.
doesn't update like it updates very slowly. That's the only thing.
How it's been like 10 years.
So like yeah, like every couple of years I think I reread it and like reread and catch up.
Yeah. What chapter is she on?
Um 4.
Are you
No, 5,
serious?
chapter 5, chapter 5, sorry.
How the heck? Oh my god, that's crazy though. Because it's like for me, you know, like a chapter pages, and that's like a year.
Yeah. It's so slow, but it's so good though.
Oh, dude,
Like
there were so many that I used to read. Like I can't even tell you how many. And then a lot of them stopped updating because I think they weren't back in the day. It wasn't like Patreon funding where they were getting like funding off of Patreon. So many of them just survived, or the artists found new jobs. Like they found. I remember there was one that it was called The Tea House, and it was so good. And the authors just quit, and it kind of made me sad because they quit, but they also revealed the ending, so there was like no chance they'd ever get back to it. But like the ending, it was just such a well. It was an artist writer duo, and like when they revealed what happened, I was like mind blown. I was like, wow, this is so good. And it was just disappointing to see it end like that. It because I followed it for years, and they just one day they just decided like it was such a random moment too. Like one day they just decided like, hey guys, due to our jobs and due to we have families to take care of, we just can't possibly update the comic anymore, no matter how much we love it. And like they had so many supporters too, and like they just stopped updating. I was
mm.
sad. I remember I was actually really sad.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Did you guys get my message?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Where is it? Is it in
It says we'll soundtrack as it begins. We're gonna start.
wait, give me a moment. I swear to God, I like wait, is it in the group? You have to remember, I don't know how to use
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah, the group.
It's in the okay, and this it's the SubZero group. Okay, hold on.
No, not the subject. Well, yeah. This group that the call is in the call.
Oh wait, so this group, okay.
Yeah.
I don't see a link, man. I don't see. Oh wait,
No, it's not a link.
How do I?
then what is it?
It's just she just said that we're gonna start.
Oh, okay, that's it. So there's
Wait.
not a link. Okay.
Wait, I just made it public. Do you guys not see it?
No, because remember, Fig, I have no ability to tell when it's.
Oh shit.
I need a link. I need a
okay.
link.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, that's why I was like.
I need a link.
Okay.
I don't get your notifications right now.
Oh, okay.
If I have to get a new account, you'll be the first one unsubscribed to.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I forget these things. Holy shit.
That's fine.
Okay, here it is. There we go.
Thank yous.
I was like, oh my god. We'll
Oh,
just
here it is.
Yeah, we'll just do sound check as it goes. Because, god, I hate OBS right now.
Oh, okay. I hear a lag a little bit. Okay, so just mute it.
Yeah, just mute it.
Okay.
Hold on. Katie, would you like to do the linkus, the like promotions and stuff?
I
Sure.
see Accel did one, but
Sure.
on Instagram, but
Yeah, I'll do linkus on other things,
Twitter.
Twitter
and your server.
Yep.
Okay.
Let me just make sure it's still working. Oh my god. Okay.
Should I add everyone?
Yes, add everyone. Or
Like at everyone.
Yeah.
If I could spell starting correctly, that would be great. Starting, it's what I said.
It's what you said. Okay, I wonder if I could put it here. I don't know. Well, I don't think they'll yell at me.
Okay, and then Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna put in this one. We're just doing promotions first, June, and then we'll actually get started.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, take your time.
Okay. Is there promotions? I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Okay. Wait, who did I get tagged? Oh, Granny.
Hi.
I forgot I got tagged.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Phil was like asking me, where will it be? And I was like, in my channel. I wonder if I could promote it here. It's not really I'll just promote it here. I hope Mekon won't yell at me, but... that one...
I need to watch this Eva. Like, I think I'm gonna rewatch it for real.
I might watch it now that's going to be on Netflix.
You should. No, it's really good. I think it's one of those that really changed.
I'll just avoid the end.
Yeah, the end is trash, but then you can kind of watch the movies. It's like it's trash, but it's also good. Like I don't know how to explain it. That's why I think it was the most messed up thing I've ever watched, truly. But like it's just so good.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop.
Is it working? How are things going?
10 people watching.
Oh, God.
Well, that's only
like,
5.
No one's gonna come. I know no one's gonna come.
No, people are like here. Like, there's 10 people here. I'm like, what the heck?
That's funny.
That's so funny.
I should put it in Macon's cookie jar.
Wait, what?
There we go.
Why? It's mine. Okay, just make sure. Just let me know if you got most of the promotions settled, Katie, and then we'll start.
I don't know where else I would put it. So
Okay.
I put it in your server, Macon's server, Twitter.
Okay.
You've got SubZero server. Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to. No, oh my god. People are messaging me.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay. Should I make hold on. I'm going crazy. Sorry. And then we put the thingy. Okay. And then tweet. Wait, did I send? Oh my god, I'm a freaking.
What you doing now?
Oh no! Oh no, I did it correctly. Oh my god, I got so nervous. Oh my god. I thought. Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure. Okay.
How's everyone today?
Oh wait. Wait, Phil was just asking me. I see you guys are talking, but I don't know where the voice chat is. Is it closed to certain people? Oh.
It's closed?
He did. Well, no, he did say something yesterday in Macon's stream. I think he was a little bit confused. He said that I think I'm doing a live stream with Fig yesterday. Sorry, Phil.
Sorry.
We love you, though. Say a quick hello to some peoples in the chat.
Yeah, we can say hello.
Hello, Bug, and Kin, and Georgina, and Gucci Gobbles, and Gusty.
I always get so scared of like saying people's names. Like I know I'm gonna mess it up.
Oh, I know. I learned to accept that I will mess it up and just go with it.
That's just the the nature of the beast, I guess. Keep on going.
Exactly.
Because I think Accel always calls me he's always like Junepurr, or I think a lot of people read my username and they see Junepurr. It's actually technically Junepurr, but like I don't care. So, but even people no, it's like even people with webtoons. I remember when I first met them, they were like, is it Junepurr or is it Junipur? Like, I just want to get that clear. And then apparently they were all like betting on it. Like, they're like, what's it gonna be?
Are you purring? It's like, are you purring or are you a berry?
Both. Yeah, it's literally like, I'm born in the month of June and then I like cats. So I threw together a username years ago because I didn't want to have the same K-pop username over and over. And so it just kind of stuck.
Oh, hi, Aki. And Shinjiro.
Thank you guys for reading my comic. It's complete silence.
Wait, hello?
Hi, everybody. Okay.
Oh, potatoes.
Are we starting now?
I don't know.
Hello?
Hi.
Testing. Are we starting now?
Ding.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Okay, then.
Oh my god, this is going on. Why can't I be
potatoes
heard?
are nice.
Wait,
You
hold on,
are
what?
delicious. Thank you for coming.
I gotta fucking... Oh!
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Really good night. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it.
I'm here.
Welcome.
Oh my god, I was trying to get you to say hi, but you guys didn't hear me, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? No.
No, we didn't hear you.
Oh my god,
Sorry.
it's not your fault. It's my end. I'm so sorry. I guess we could start now.
We can start now.
Yeah. Okay, so, oh my god.
It's perfect. It's like 7:30. It's fine.
Yeah. Let's go. Okay, anyways, hi everyone. This is me, Fig, and as you could see from the title, it's a Q&A on SubZero, and I guess I can't speak today. Anyways, I've been dealing a lot. I'm with my co-hosts, Katie and Accel, and I'm also with the lovely. Can we get a drum roll if we can? Junepurr!
Hi guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Isn't she cute? She's adorable. Anyways.
She keeps insisting she's not, but she is.
Like, I'm not. I promise I'm not. I don't deserve it. I don't need a drum roll. I'm fine.
No, you need it. You're amazing. You're spectacular. You're everything above greatness. Like,
you realize all of us here would not be here without you? Like, right at this moment, you are the reason we are here.
I'm getting so full of myself. Sometimes people like my sister always tells me, she's like, your ego is so high. You only read your own comic, or she always says silly things like that. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? So she's always saying things to like bring me down.
Aww.
Okay. So, anyways, before we begin, we'll just do a quick little intro of ourselves. So, what I'm gonna ask each of you is just to say your name and say what you do in the SubZero dub. So, I'll start. So I'm Fig. I am one of the directors for the SubZero dub, and I also play Clove in the dub. Yeah. Next, Katie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I am Grannytato, also known as Katie, and I am also a director here in the dub. My role is as director is usually doing the scripts. I usually write the scripts, which the lovely Junepurr just makes so easy, except for sometimes you have to guess who says what, but she usually makes it so easy to do, so my job is not that difficult. I also coach Fig mostly when she's doing her recordings.
Oh yes.
Which I don't have to coach her much. I don't have to coach you much though, because she and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to how we want things said. So it's my job is easy, guys. And that's my introduction. I'm sorry, I talk too much.
No, it's okay. You're fine. And next is Accel. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Oh my god, this is so ugly. Hi, everybody. My name is Accel Byzantine. I'm one of the editors for SubZero. I'm really happy to be a part of this project. I'm really thankful for giving me this opportunity to do this. Currently, one of my eyes are incapacitated because one of these little god-awful kids wants to scratch me in the eye. So, this next episode is going to take a little bit longer. So, yeah. Nice to meet you all. Yeah.
Aw,
Your
yay!
health is more important. We would rather you take a little break and get your eye all better. And then
Screw my health. I want to edit. It's so
No.
much fun. I love helping.
Have a break.
Mm-hmm. And then
Oh, sorry.
No.
I don't want to jump. I don't want to jump before.
I'm so sorry. Okay, anyways, and then last but not least, we have the wonderful, we have the lovely, we have the one and only goddess of all, Junepurr. You may introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is June. I just draw the comic, and I'm the writer or artist of SubZero, and I've been doing this for about two years now, I think, since Discover. So I'm really thankful for everybody who came to the stream and everybody here who kind of takes time out of their day to just dub my comic, and just in general, people who support the comic, people who read it. I'm so thankful to be here. Thank you guys so much.
Yay! Doesn't she sound so cute? She's so cute. Anyways.
There's 22 people here, and June, when we started, was like, I'll be happy if they're 2 or 3. Nobody's gonna show up.
But no, there's 23 people, so...
Two's enough for me.
Let's do our best! Anyways, so yeah, this is gonna be a Q&A, mostly focused whether if it's about June, her art, the comic, or for us as well, if you have any questions about the dub as well.
Oh, I do. Don't worry, I have plenty.
Oh
Awesome.
my!
Awesome.
Okay.
We have plenty for you, and I'm sure the audience has many questions as well.
Yeah. So, how it's gonna work is that me, Accel, and Katie compiled our own questions to ask to June, and I think each of us has at least 5 questions.
I think we all have 6 questions, plus we each have a secret question.
Oh my god! I hope it's not something that jumps out at me and I'll be like, oh my god, I gotta answer this. Pass.
No.
We'll see what happens.
Don't worry,
No,
honey.
the secret questions are all fun, kind of not really serious questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, each of us has at least 6 questions, and each of us will take a turn in asking June questions, whether it's about the comic, herself, their art, or anything in general. I'm actually gonna time it because I'm pretty sure you guys have questions as well. So probably after 15 to 20 minutes of us asking questions, if you guys have any questions to ask to June herself, you could put it in the chat, and we'll take that time to ask your guys' questions to June. Just make sure that you guys don't spam like any like spoilers or maybe questions that contain kind of spoilers about the comic, just in case if people just started on SubZero and haven't caught up with it yet. We make sure that they, you don't spoil to those people who haven't caught up. But yeah,
if you want to catch up while we're talking, please do.
You could do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could do that while you listen to us. But anyways, just a few small words that I have to say. Honestly, I was a bit nervous in asking June to do this because I wasn't sure if she was gonna say yes or not. But
I was nervous of being asked because I didn't think so for everybody, this is my first time that I've actually done a live stream. So
yeah,
I can't, I'm a little bit nervous. So, but
we've had to teach her the ways of Discord.
Exactly. Yes,
we did. We really
technology challenge. But yeah, talking to you guys makes it, for the most part, really kind of easygoing, and so it's just going to be like a conversation, I assume.
Yeah, it's going to be a conversation. Don't worry, honey. And the fact that you said yes, I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my god, she said yes. Oh my god. So because I was like really inspired to do this because I watched Chameleon, who was like one of the first like webtoon dubbers who did the Siren's Lament dub. She's not currently doing it anymore due to being busy and stuff. But when I saw that stream with Miso, I was like, oh my god, this would be really cool. And I just watched a stream with Meikon Koya and Filsterman with Miso, who is the creator of Sirens, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be fun and really cool. So the fact that you said yes makes me really happy, June, and my heart is so clenching because I'm like, oh my god.
My heart is clenching right now, but okay. So yeah, just whatever you want to go, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to ask. I'm gonna try to.
Jayma already has a really good question.
Okay. Like I said, we'll go with the audience's questions after 15 to 20 minutes of the.
Yeah. So please ask it again.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Actually, I'll keep it in mind.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'm just gonna kind of set up a timer. Just so I don't get
And let me know if I'm right. I tend to jump from topic to topic, so I don't know, message me or something.
Guys, we have a goddess in chat. The Meikon Koya.
Yeah, just tell me if I'm running over time or my answers. I don't want to try to
Okay.
We have so many goddesses here. We have Meikon and Ruka.
Ooh,
we have Kingfell. We have Kingfell.
Okay. But
oh my god, it's Ruka. Hi.
It's Ruka. No. You're fine, man. But yeah. Oh, also, June, I was like kind of meaning to ask if you still have like a little spare time. Would you like to do like a little hangout call with the cast if you still have time?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Okay, because I kind of put it in the server and I was like, I'm not sure. I'm always like cautious about how busy you guys are, so I just want to make sure if you have time. And if you didn't, then I totally understand. So I was just like,
the good thing about my job is that I listen to music and work at the same time. I can talk and work at the same time. Usually, I talk to a lot of people while I'm working, even if it's like 3, if I'm by myself at like 3 a.m., I need to talk to somebody sometimes. So I'll find somebody to talk to.
Yes. Okay. But yeah, thank you. Answer my question. Okay. We'll start with the questions. Okay. So I'll go first. So this question for you, June, this is a fairly simple question. It's nothing too hard. So I just wanted to know, and probably everyone wants to know, how did you come up with your name Junepurr? And can you give like a little just explanation of like your OC, because I'm really obsessed with OCs and your OC is like super duper cute, so it's so adorable.
Okay, so I think I probably answered this like off the stream, but basically June is I'm born in the month of June. And Purr is just like, I like cats. So it was just a username that I threw together years ago. And I think it just stuck. When I started my comic, I wasn't expecting it to. I didn't do the comic to get featured, right? I didn't do it. I just posted it online and it was under this username. So now everybody knows me as June. And as for my OCs, like ever since growing up, I had, I would read a lot of comics and I'd watch a lot of like anime and TV shows. So everybody, I think every kid has like OCs when they're young. And I always had a collection of OCs in different stories. So when I made SubZero, it was partially I was inspired by things that I was watching and reading and things like that. But also I basically took a lot of my characters. Like Cairo, he's a 10-year-old OC, right? He's 10 years old since the time that I created him. And Clove was from another story. So their designs were kind of there, but then I just I compiled them together into another story. And that's kind of how the characters came together.
Ah, I see. That's really nice. That's really cute, actually. I like that.
Yeah, and I have a habit of naming whenever authors write their stories, they'll give their characters like filler names. Like instead of calling them X, Y, Z character, they'll name their character something. And so Clove belonged in a story where all the characters were named off of spices. Like it was like cinnamon, coriander, and so her filler name kind of stuck in the story.
God, that's
and
so cute.
Yeah, that's the story as to her name. But yeah, so they were just a bunch of characters that I kind of compiled together into this story, and that's really how it came by.
Oh wow, that's cute. Even that Clove one, that little story of like how Clove's named. That's adorable. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm named after a spice.
Yeah, no, she really is. She's named after a spice. And I think a lot of people they say her name is Clover, which I don't really, I don't mind when people call her Clover.
She's named after a spice, but she's made of ice.
Yeah, and I like the smell of clove. It's silly. Like if I'm drinking like hot chocolate or something, I get like reminded of my OC. It's silly, but it's just, I guess that's just how it worked out.
It's funny because, she's like this icy dragon, but like she's named after a hot spice.
Yeah. Allspice. Yeah, could basically, yeah.
Oh my.
Because I like the fact that, clove is, it's silly, but if you look into, you can find meanings into their names if you really look into it. Like,
I'm looking into it right now.
It's because clove is this like aromatic flower, and basically it's a flower, but it has like a spike. It has spiky buds basically. So it's a red flower, but it also has spikes on it. So technically, you could say, oh, she's a redhead. She's like hot-headed. It's a flower, but it's also, in a way,
there are times where we kind of see that spice coming out.
Exactly, like icy, I guess. So you can find meaning in their names, yeah.
Aw, I like that. Thank you. I think next one to ask is Accel. You could ask your question.
Hi. Okay.
You don't have to say hi again.
Some of us know that SubZero wasn't the original title for the series at first. I'm so sorry I have to do this to you. I'm so sorry I'm doing this to you. But could you like give us the original title of SubZero or like a hint if you're comfortable?
I have this question beforehand and I ask it. I'm wondering if I can show my face again after saying the name. I think, but basically, I don't know if I want to give away the full name. The reason is when I first started SubZero, I showed my friend like the prologue, and I told her this is what I'm gonna call it, and she said Tony, or like, yeah, that's shouldn't have said my name, but it's fine. She said basically this is such a bad title, like you can't call it that. That's so trashy. And I said, oh, what are you talking about? Like I was married to ready to call it this, and looking back, I'm so glad that I didn't call it this because it was just so like such a trashy name. I'll say the title has it has a comparison to it, and it has the word ice in it, but it's not a title that I'm proud of. It's something that I would avoid people relating to, I'm sorry, I'm not giving away the full one.
No, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I just like Okay, I'll shut up anyways.
And it's really cool to kind of like know that backstory and stuff.
Yeah,
Cool.
I don't think a lot of people know the backstory. Like, I don't even think my editor knows, but but it's just something I keep hidden. I shouldn't have revealed it at all because now I have people like artists and friends of mine. They come and they ask this question. And I'm like, I don't want to tell you. And if I tell them, they all burst out laughing. So
No, answer however you feel comfortable.
mhm.
Yeah. You don't have, if you don't want to answer a question, you can just say pass.
Pass.
We
There we
don't
go.
expect it.
Okay. Okay. Next, to ask is Katie.
Yep, hold on. My mouse, you guys, and my mouse is red, and clicking is very difficult. Okay. So, when did you first come up with this story?
Oh, so when I first started it, you mean thinking about it or
Yeah,
just
like thinking about it.
making
Yeah.
it?
When it like started, like you started putting all these seeds of this story
Mhm.
together in your mind.
Okay, so I don't know. So for people who don't know, basically what happened is I was in school and I've always wanted to do art, but because just because of family, well, my family's advice, and it was always art was the thing that you would push back in order to do something more, like get like a real job, right? And I think a lot of this, like people are always having to. Yes, accounting is a very good career. Accounting is a very good career. So what happened is exactly like I was doing accounting because I wanted a job, and truthfully, if you like, I could go all about how these firms like basically seek people to just bring into their to do accounting. You're either doing like tax or audit. I could go all, but basically for me, accounting in school was good and it was like worthwhile. It's not for me. It's not like a boring career like others say, but like I say, I've always wanted to do art. And I remember I was doing this one internship over the summer. It was like an hour drive away from me. It was for a company that made metal. Like they literally manufactured metal, and we were doing their internal audit. But I remember being at work and like I didn't have a lot of things to do because I was just an intern. And then on the ways back, I would just drive for an hour in awful Houston traffic. So basically, I started to come up with just stories to kind of entertain myself. I was so bored and I hated my job so much. I remember I would come home and like cry because of how much I hated kind of what I was doing, and I didn't have enough time to draw. And because I had always wanted to do a comic, I told myself, like, I either do this now or I'm never going to do this. And so I gave myself an ultimatum. And during that summer, I started compiling just pieces of things that I liked and I wanted to work on. I knew I liked fantasy. I knew I liked drawing. Like, I wanted to kind of do a romance. And at the same time, I was watching a lot of Chinese dramas. So I really wanted to just to compile all of the things that I liked at the time. And as soon as the internship was over, I started like I went full force into it, and I just started drawing it. That I liked at the time. That's really how it came together. Just trying to find an outlet for my frustration and not being able to pursue the thing I always really wanted. And like now, for many of you who don't know, like I quit my job like 2 weeks ago so that I could pursue webtoons full time, because this is, at the end of the day, this is my dream job and this is what I want to do. But yes, accounting is a very good career. And it's very like it's very fulfilling, I think, and you can get a lot of money like if you go up the ranks. But for me, it was never something that I wanted to. I knew from the start of my job, like I know for a fact that I don't want to do this long term. And I've always been like invested. Like SubZero has been my life for the last. So yeah, that's basically that's how the story came to be.
Aw, that sounds like a very passionate. That's a very
Yeah, I'm
passionate
actually
answer.
very similar to you. Like, I'm a daydreamer, and I'm constantly coming up with stories in my head. And I actually have a book that I would love to write someday.
Yeah.
Like the story has been in my head for like 4 years.
Oh yeah.
And if I could just get it myself to actually like write it, I would love to do it. But it's also one of those things where like I want to read it as it's in my head.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I want to write it, but I want to read it exactly how it is in my head.
Yeah. But you have to always just have to make it. And I will tell you, like, Zero is not the way I envision it. Like, the way it comes out isn't the way I want it to be in my head. Like, especially the early chapters, like, I wanted, I've redrawn them twice at this point, and I still look back and I kind of want to redraw certain scenes. Like the prologue, I'm like, hey, I'm happy with my prologue, but there's still things within the story where I'm just like, it's not as grand as I envision it. It's not as great. But the hardest part of anything is to just go out and do it. And trust me, it took me like, I wanted to make a comic for 10 years and I could never find the motivation until I got this awful job that I just hated so much. So you have to just cut everything, and you have to tell yourself that there's always going to be an excuse. Like I could go sit, I could go watch anime right now instead of working on my banner. But
if someone's got to tape my hands to the keyboard for me to actually finally like write my book.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that was a very passionate answer, and that was like
I did not expect such a long, passionate answer. I'm so glad.
Very passionate.
So informative.
Yeah. No. It was really good. Oh, and I also forgot to add, June. If you, like I said, if you have any questions for us, then by all means, you could also ask.
Oh, I was gonna jump in at the end because I didn't.
Oh, okay. Probably maybe after the audience, you could ask us questions. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from me. Okay. So my next question is, which character do you relate the most from SubZero, and why?
I think this is hard for me because they're all technically my children. Even the bad guys, even the ones that people hate. I know people hate Reina. Like I read some comments, people just want to torture her, and but I relate to all of them in some level. For me, I think like I can relate to Clove a lot sometimes about being forced to do something that you kind of don't want to do and trying to. This is such a weird comparison, like being forced to marry somebody and doing accounting, but it's just that whole thing of being forced to kind of take responsibility for something, even though you don't want to do it. And then I say in terms of, I really like Karis as a character because she's kind of calculating and manipulative from the sideline, and you wouldn't know. But I like her character because she's like free spirited and she has all these things planned out. So I guess you could say like plot manipulation in a way.
That is the reason we call her best.
Right. So it's just I relate to all of them in some level. Like even Cairo just being like completely, brooding and moody all the time. Sometimes I'm exactly like that. So to a level, I think I relate to all of them. They're all technically, they're people basically floating around in my head, if you could put it like that, So a lot of the times, even when I'm making the comic, the characters technically speak for themselves because, they're already, you know them all.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. No, I totally understand. I was just like wondering. I kind of had a feeling you wouldn't like have a specific character, but I think that answer is pretty logical. Okay, next we have around 9 minutes for the rest of our questioning, and then we'll.
Oh my God!
So we'll probably have we could do 2 more questions. So Accel, you could ask your next question.
Since we're already talking about characters, which any of your characters from SubZero, which one would you marry?
I don't like giving this one away because it's so. Sometimes you can actually hear me talking through the comments instead of like the actual characters. I really like Aaron. Like he's to me, he's like perfect.
Many of us do.
I mean, and I kind of made him like this. He's a perfect guy. You know, he's a soldier. He's got this like he's almost like the tough guy, but he's really sweet and he's like protects her and stuff. Like for me, he's he's hot. Like he's great. Like everything that you can have in a package. So I like him in that aspect. But I would say, yeah, like for me, he technically be the perfect guy. And I think on Discover one time I posted like, oh, let me know if you know anybody who like looks and acts like him, because this is the kind of guy I want. You know? But I mean, that's just a fun fact.
Team Headband. Sorry, no. I really like Aaron. Okay. Sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna calm myself. Anyways, next question, Katie. You may ask your next question.
Well, my next question, June kind of answered it a little bit, but like, I guess I'm gonna like, what made you decide to like publish, like really publish it on Line Webtoons? Like,
oh, like how I found it, and I think just the platform was so easy. So like I said, I was always following webcomics, and I was used to this manga format where people would just post comics in this manga format. But then when I saw Tapastic and I saw webtoons, I realized it was this long scroll. And at first it was really difficult to get used to because, I don't know, as an artist, you're not used to drawing these huge long canvases. I mean, my canvases would be like 30,000 for just like one piece. And in total, I think they add up to like 100, 200,000 pixels, just height. That's how long they are. So I think it was difficult, but Webtoons' platform is very easy to use. Discover in general, I truthfully don't know why more people aren't on it, because number one, it's extremely easy to use, but like number two, you can get paid from just publishing your comic. And that's kind of what I was doing. I couldn't even believe it, that there's a company that, hey, Custard, I see you. But yes, so I couldn't even believe it that there was a company out there actually paying creators to just post things, and they weren't even featured. So I truly encourage anybody, if you have a story to tell, just do it. The hardest part is just sitting down and making it, and you have absolutely no excuse to not make it, because you know, you can get paid and then you're just putting your ideas and things out there, and it's extremely easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No.
Did you do like, related question?
Yes.
Did you do like a research between like, before you publish, like which did you do research into different platforms, and then you chose Line because it was the easiest?
I was publishing on multiple platforms, and it was a little different size requirements, so you have to make different versions of the same banner like 5 times, but you get used to it. And as long as you get that front work done, that the early stuff done, like you need like an illustration for a banner, and as long as you get all of that done, then all you have to really do is just keep up with your comic. And it sounds easier than it is. Just even updating 2 times a month can be extremely unmotivating, but you just have to kind of just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of like the banner, I remember like seeing the teaser banner when SubZero was about to be featured, and then I saw your post about the skate deck of.
Oh yeah!
I was like, holy shit, that looks amazing! Oh my god!
I was mind blown when I saw it, because my police. What happened is they invited all of us to kind of like a dinner, and it was really cool. I got to meet all the creators and people who work there, but they told us at the dinner that they had a present for us. I remember they had, for you guys, but unfortunately they didn't get here because of I don't know, logistics or something. So they weren't shipped to us until a month later. And then I remember I saw people on Instagram getting skate decks, and I was like, no way, am I gonna get a skate deck, you know? So, and that's exactly what happened. I just received the package at the door, and I just opened it. I was so mind blown. It's sitting actually right next to me. I don't know what to do with it, so I just stare at it.
You need to find like something to like a way to mount it on the wall, or
right. It was wrapped in plastic. I didn't even want to tear off the plastic. I'm gonna ruin it. So it was a really amazing present that they gave for us. It was really cool, like an awesome thank you for just, I guess, working, being part of the webtoons. They do a really good job taking care of us, I'll say.
I would agree. And I was just like, I was so mind blown when I saw that skate deck. And I know there's like other skate decks. Remember I saw the video with like, there was a, Uda-chan had like her own skate deck for like Unordinary. And I was like, whoa, that looks like really cool. And I was just thinking, are any of the creators that like I know of like gonna get skate decks? And I was like, when I saw yours, I was like, oh my god, that's so beautiful. Oh my god. And the fact
sorry.
Oh no. And I'm just gonna quickly say the fact that they used like your teaser like banner was like, oh my god, that looks amazing. Holy god.
I don't know how they really choose things to, what art to use, because I saw for example Mongi's skate deck had Bowser on it. It was just a huge Bowser, and it was just the cutest thing. But Sam wasn't on there. Like the main characters from the comic weren't on there. It was just Bowser. So I don't know how they, obviously they take time out of their day to design these banners and to put everything together. So I have to say I really appreciate that aspect, because you can tell it's not just something they're like, oh, throw together. Like they care about us. They think about what we're gonna like, and it's obviously I was really happy with it.
Oh my god, that probably brought you so many like happy tingles like when you saw that.
Oh yeah. I was like, this is such a good. I'm so happy I quit my job. That's kind of what went through my head, which is just silly to think about, but yeah.
Like, wait, so I'm not sure if I got this. So you weren't aware that you were gonna get a skate deck, or were you aware that there was?
I didn't know what the creator's gift was. Like, we didn't know what it was. They told us a month ago that we were gonna get a gift, but we didn't know what it was. And I think I started seeing like on Instagram that other artists were getting like skate decks, and I was like, oh no way. But it just happened. So like everybody, they sent us skate decks, and it was really cool.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so I see the timer, and it's like almost up. So we're gonna begin looking at the audience's questions for you. I saw like one really good one like in the beginning. Hold on, I saw it. Where is it? Oh, okay. So this is from, oh my god. Let's see if I do good as a host. I'm probably not. So from J.Ma, she asked, June, what was your inspiration for your main characters? By the way, I love SubZero. Heart emoji piece.
Thank you for liking my characters. I'm surprised that people like him, especially because I see a lot of so much hate directed at Cairo. Like they hate him, some people. But for me, I just wanted to do. I think, I was watching all these dramas, right? I would watch a lot of these like historical dramas, and I just absolutely love historical. Like I love the costumes, I love the scenery. Everything's really. It's just beautiful, and it's like obviously that's not what the past was like, but I like that romanticized aspect of the past. But the thing that I always tended to see in these dramas is like the guy is either he's like a Prince Charming, and he's completely in love with her from the beginning, exactly. Or he treats her or he like treats her like an object, like he's a king or whatever he is, and she's his object, right?
Exactly.
So I kind of wanted to do, like I said, Kyra was an OC that was, he's like a 10-year-old OC. I've had his character in my head for a while. Obviously, it's changed over the years, but I wanted a character that was unapologetically himself. Like he's an asshole. He knows it, and I didn't really want to hold back on that. And like for her, you could say that she's a general like female protagonist. Like, she's very kind-hearted, but she also has her flaws and her insecurities. And technically you look at them and you think that they're unbalanced in terms of strength, but that's not really true. Like, they both tend to balance each other out. I think, like, he's very physically strong. He's clearly, like, physically stronger than her, and like I wanted to show that, like, clearly she would be scared, but there's other aspects where she's more like stable than he is in some ways. And I think I wanted characters that would like complement each other, but also that would where sparks would fly. I really like characters, like relationships that start off like really rocky to the point where they almost hate each other or they definitely hate each other. So I like that aspect.
I like when I was like reading it, I was like, oh, like it's like kind of like this because I also watch like K-dramas and stuff, and it's like I see like that's
all
why
the dramas.
I tend to like more of like the gentleman types of guys. So like in Sirens of Men, I like Sean more. And who else? Who else is like more like more gentleman type? I think
And yet you like Daniel's
an exception. Daniel's an exception because I like Daniel because he's cute when he's like angry, but he knows he likes Rose, so that's an exception. Okay, in SubZero, I'm more towards like Aaron, but Cairo has been getting up there. But ever since like Discover and Featured, I was like, especially in that one part in SubZero between Aaron and Clove, I'm like, okay. But I've been more siding with Aaron, but Cairo's getting there. He's getting there, but yeah. But I just tend to notice that there's like the more like asshole type of guy, like I'm gonna just like be like a complete dick to you, but like I like you. And then there's like the complete opposite in which just like they're really cute and like very sweet guy. And yeah, so and I'm a sucker for those romantic dramas. I'm sorry, I know it could be like obvious,
but cheesy, but yeah,
I can't help myself, man. I'm sorry.
I like all the cheese is great. Like just keep grating that cheese onto my subconsciousness.
Exactly. So
yeah, no, you really have to embrace cheese if you're doing like a romance. Like you just have to live with it.
Yeah, you just.
Oh, it's Kenny Comics. Hi.
Oh my God, Kenny's here. Oh my God, hi, Kenny. Hi. Anyways,
sorry, we're fangirling.
Yeah, sorry. We love your music. I love your music ever since like Science Lament, and you're a beautiful person.
Ever since tangents for me.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Anyways, next question is from Yorun. I'm guessing. So they ask, where do you find the motivation to just do it? Like, make the thoughts come to life. I just procrastinate, lol.
When you have a deadline, there's some days where you think like, when I was working and doing kind of the comic and like working full time, you just have to do it. Like, you sacrifice sleep, you have to do whatever you need to. But for me, it always helps whenever I know there's like fans waiting, because I know sometimes I'll check the update like an hour before, and there's people counting down, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have 45 minutes left, before the update. Or they'll say like, 15 minutes until the next update. And I'm on the other end being like, okay, I have 15 minutes to finish drawing this. So it's sometimes it's a race against time. So I think for me, like the fans and the deadline definitely helps. So but on Discover, I'd say for me, it was like, I hate to say this, but for me, it was really a monetary. Like you needed, I remember for Discover, you needed to have 2 updates a month. And like, that's how I would always do it. Like if I knew that I only had 1 update, I need to finish the other one by like the end of the month so I could get like income for it. And I know it sounds a little bit shallow to say, but that's a big motivator for me,
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to usually like when it just comes to like homework, because I procrastinate a lot too. Usually I tend to focus more when it's like last minute, because it's like alerting myself like you need to get your shiz like like on, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So it's like really hard for me to like focus on anything towards like last like minute like dates, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot that I had to do that, and like when is it due? In like 2 hours, and I'm just like, well, I better get my butt in gear because I will be in trouble if I don't get this sent in. But yeah, procrastination, I think for anything is like, for any creator, honestly, whether if it's like artists, voice actors, whether you're creating content for YouTube, procrastination and motivation is like, I guess, one of the most big factors in creating.
It's my middle name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just, it's like I said, there's always going to be an excuse. You're always going to find an excuse to not do it, right?
Yeah.
But like, if this is really something that you're after, I just keep telling people, don't be in a position where, you're working a job that you absolutely hate, because you procrastinated like 10 years to get whatever it was out there. Just get it out there.
Absolutely. So usually I just like think of like the comments when I get for the dubs, and I use that also motivation as well.
Yeah.
I think there are times where like I'm like, Fig, did you get it done? How's it going, Fig? What's going on? And then I feel like I'm bothering her, but I'm like, I need to tell her to chop up. She's like, I need it to be done by this time.
Yeah, I just usually, or I have people pestering me like Katie as my motivation. But you know what? That's fine because she's like,
just because I know you've been working on it for 2 weeks, and I'm just like, this is due in like how long? Oh yeah, 2 days.
And I think people try to do everything perfect from the start, and like for me, I always say, it's never gonna be what you envision it. I'm sorry to break that to you, but even SubZero isn't what I want it to be sometimes. Like sometimes the panel turns out, wow, this is a lot better than I thought. But the majority of the time, you can never get it to be as grand as what it is in your head. So don't get focused on perfection. Like having something finished is a lot better than to have it partially done. I think it was a saying, like, finished is better than perfect. So just keep that in mind at all times, and just, if you have a deadline, make sure you meet it.
Yeah, just really try to push yourself in trying to get that deadline in. Okay. Anyways, next question. This is a shipping question, but from Jason Diaz. He asks, June, who do you low-key rooting for Clove, Cairo or Aaron?
I feel like if it comes true, it's almost gonna ruin the whole story. There's aspects. Let me just say, both of them have qualities that, like the other, I don't know. Both of them have qualities that kind of can come, that she finds like really attractive and that can complete her. But I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want to give away. If I feel like it's unfair if the author gives their 2 cents about who they want, like end game or things like that. Like there's times where I really ship Clove and Cairo, and there's times where I really ship her and Aaron. So it's almost like it depends on what I'm drawing. If I'm drawing like Aaron, I want to draw Clove and Cairo. If I'm drawing Clove and Cairo, I want to draw Aaron. So it's really about like my mindset and my mood at the time. But I'm not gonna tell you. I'm really not.
No, fair enough. I feel like there's no need to as of right now, because I feel like the story is just still getting like settled in terms of like exposition. Like I already know like there have been moments with Cairo and Clove, and especially that moment with Aaron and Clove. So I'm not gonna say, but I feel like it's just too early to judge who Clove is gonna end up with. But let's just be glad we have 2 guys. Okay, let's just embrace it.
I'm 3.
Oh, 3. Sorry. Oh my god.
Some people forget about like the third one. I mean, for me,
here.
His character is just, it's surprising that people liked him so much, because I always say he was really a character that especially on Discover, I designed him on the spot, almost like a character to just be there, to just spout exposition in a way, but he ended up being a little bit more than that. Like I like his personality in a way. I think people forget about him, like I say, but he's also
he's a grizzly bear. He's a teddy bear disguised as a grizzly bear.
Yeah, so they're all gonna have like important roles in the story. Even I know, like I said, starting, so you don't see enough about everybody to know at this point. But I think in the future, like you'll definitely be able to know more about their characters and how they differ and how they're in contrast and everything.
I feel like Norin is like the underdog to me. It's part of the reason why I love him so much.
Basically, I know Gon, who also dubbed SubZero, is also a big Norin fan as well. Actually,
yeah, she and I have had conversations where like we've talked like Norin is like.
Wait, what did you say, June?
It's like I don't understand his appeal sometimes, because I mean, for me, I hate to say this about my own character, but I do feel like at times he steals the spotlight from where it should be. But like clearly, I just go with it. Like his character is, they're all gonna have like play important roles in the story. So I'm not really worried about like, oh, so and so gets too much spotlight. Or for me, it's almost like a has to balance out how much screen time each character has. For now, I think everything, like I'm happy with the amount of screen time everybody's had, kind of what the audience thinks of them.
I think that's fair enough to say. Okay, we'll save some of the other audience's questions a bit later.
Yes.
Right now, I know June has some questions for us. I know I'm kind of nervous. So June, it's now June time, everyone. So let's give June her time to ask questions for us. So June, you may ask.
Okay. So I guess I want to ask you guys a question. So when you guys are doing the dub, I think obviously it's a lot easier to kind of adapt a story that's more slice of life, right? So not easier, but let's say, my comic has dragons, it has all these fantasy elements. So how do you go about I'd say adapting that, or trying, what challenges that come with trying to dub a more fantasy comic versus a more slice of life, or like a present day comic that doesn't have dragons, and I have horses, I have all these like crazy sounds that you guys have to portray. So what are the challenges that come with that?
Okay. I felt like I've spoke a little about this before the stream. I feel like this is more of like an editing kind of thing, because I think the concept, well, before then, like I did Age Matters, which is basically like a slice of life and there's romance in it, and I really like doing it, and I usually am like a romantic fanatic, and it's nice doing Age Matters. And
bye Custard.
Bye Custard. But like I thought to myself, I want to do something else. Like I want to do something a bit more challenging in terms of, I guess, like create like sound design and like I guess the environment, but maybe still having that romance aspect, because I usually do a lot of romance. I'll probably expand and do other genres, but I usually just do a romance. So I've been trying to like observe and like explore what other romance genres or titles I could do from webtoon. And I love all the other romance webtoons, don't get me wrong, but they still have that like setting of being in like either high school or like in the city, and then like, well, I kind of want to do something with like a bit of fantasy. And I just, at that time, before we did SubZero, there wasn't anything I could find. And then Katie was like talking about SubZero, and I was like, ooh, what's SubZero?
4 months.
4 months. 4 months, basically. And I was like, what is this? And she was like, it's another webtoon, like a romance webtoon. And I sometimes see like she posts like photos of like SubZero and stuff, and I was like, ooh, I'll take that. I'll read it probably later. And then I never got a chance until
then she didn't.
Yeah. And then like
it took it to being like, you finally started the first 3 episodes that were put on featured, like you finally started reading it then.
Yeah. So
Oh, so this wasn't Discover, this was actual feature.
Yeah, I read it in Discover, and I kept telling her,
Mhm.
even before you came out and said, "Hey, it's gonna be featured." I kept telling Fig, "You need to read this," and then I would be like, "This would make a really good dub."
yeah.
And then I was so excited when I heard that it was going to be featured, because then I was like, "Fig, we really, really have to dub this." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll read it." And finally, the day came. I'm like, "Fig, it's featured. Read it."
Yeah.
Read it.
Yeah.
It's like, you have no excuse.
Yeah. No, I was actually able to read the Discover because there was like a person who actually uploaded the Discover on YouTube, and I was like,
I remember those days, yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'll read the Discover, to get a little backstory. And then once I like got up to like episode 5 or something, and it got like really spicy, and the fact that it's like dragons and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm convinced I'm gonna do this. So I immediately went to Katie and Anakin, who's also another director, and
Who is in this chat now?
Yeah, Unlucky Art, hello. And I was like, okay, we're gonna do SubZero. So we were like scrambling trying to get this dub ready, having so much motivation.
Unlucky Art is our third director.
Yep. And so like they were busy casting people, and I was busy talking to you, actually, asking you for permission and like the backstory of the characters, like pronunciation wise and stuff like that. And they were really busy casting people. And actually, the dubs that I do, SubZero is the only dub in which there wasn't any casting call for it, because the Katie and Unlucky already had an idea of who they wanted to voice. So we just didn't have any casting call for it. But yeah,
We were very lucky that everyone said yes.
Yeah.
Like we already know. Yeah, that's cool. No, it always surprises me because you guys did such a great job. I think I saw the dub. I saw the candle. I saw them like blinking. It was really cool. And I think in general, like whenever many people don't know, but I always search up my own comic just because either I wouldn't say I'm like narcissistic, but I'm just curious to know what people say about it. And I'll watch reviews, and I'll watch like I've seen other dubs, and it's really cool to see how people's take on it, and hearing Chloe's voice from multiple perspectives. I will say like everybody does such a good job, and I'm just just touched by like how much passion you guys.
And this is where Accel comes in with his
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
He does. I have another question for him, actually. I have a question.
Oh.
Hi.
Yeah, so I have a question for you because, whenever I watch your videos, it's like your reaction is so genuine, and it just makes me jump off my seat because I think you're such a funny and like charismatic, like your voice is just so charismatic. So I'm just wondering, like, when you sit down, after, let's say you just read a chapter and you're you're filming these videos, you plan any of it, or you just start talking like immediately?
Okay, like the intros I plan, but like really the rest of it, I just like I pull out my mic, my laptop, I get in my closet, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, like this character's acting like this character's acting like this. Okay, let's put it on. Let's record it. All right, yeah, sounds good. All right, all right, but
so you just basically like you improvise. Yeah, you freestyle. That's so amazing.
Yeah, I just cut it all up and put it together, and there you go.
And it becomes a fabulous piece of work.
Beautiful.
I'm just saying, but I feel like I wasn't able to answer your first question wholeheartedly.
Oh, yes.
So in terms of like adapting the fantasy aspect, I think that's more like a technical thing. I think that's like more of like a editing thing. So I edited the audio for that, and in terms of like dialogue and pacing, there was nothing wrong with that, but like my only like trouble like while I was editing it was the growls, or like the dragon like growls, and I was like I was trying to find something that sounded natural and didn't sound like computer-ish. Like it didn't sound like, and that was like my only kind of like issue. I think also like the little like lightning effects as well. I didn't know if I wanted to add that in or if I wanted to leave it out or stuff. But I felt like in terms of audio editing, I wanted to go like full out. Like if I don't hear like, I usually also add in like the very very minor things just to make it, because like even like the small stuff could like make a really big difference. So the lightning could have not been added, but to me I felt like it should have been, because that was just like part of like a sequence. And so I just like, you know what,
It's part of the atmosphere, and it gets people more like into it when you have that atmosphere.
Yeah. And then like, you know, after like, and then I was on hiatus because I was busy with school and such, and then there also came the webtoon issue, and then, you know, in which I couldn't upload anything. And then towards like the end, I was trying to find editors because I knew that because I'm now doing Age Matters and SubZero, there's only so much that only one person can do. Yeah. So I knew that I needed more help. And so I was trying so much to find editors, and there wasn't like much of a response until like Accel posted like, or like asked who needs editors, and this was in Ruka's server, and I was like, and the first thing I was like, message Accel, because he was like, who needs editors, and I'm like, I need editors. So I immediately went to Accel.
Fig, if you need help, like get help. Like I kept telling her that. I always tell her things 50 times before she gets it. It's our thing. It's our shtick. But I kept telling her because I knew she was so busy and struggling. I kept telling her, and she's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
like, I'll do it, but she never does.
And
that's me.
I love her though, but
I feel like shit for doing that. Yeah, but so immediately after I went to Accel, like we just started, like I just sent him the audio, and then he wanted to add a few more adjustments to the audio, and I was like, sure, go ahead. And you know, and then when it came to the video, when he sent me the final product, I was like, oh, holy shit, like this, like and I gotta say also the fucking candle, oh my god,
blew me away. When I saw just Cairo blinking, I almost fell off my chair, you know. Like, no way, you know, because I don't even know, like I try my hardest to make it really beautiful, but you don't actually expect them to move. And even when I saw the webtoons trailer, that I remember I was in the bathroom somewhere, and I couldn't really access my phone because I was at a client. But I remember seeing it, and oh my god, just whenever I see them move, it just blows my mind. So that candle was just absolutely incredible.
And I just like wanted to cry and thank Accel so much. And I still, to this day, I really want to repay like my voice actors and my editors, like anything. Like if I would have enough money, I would pay every single each of you, because you guys dedicate your time so much to make it perfect.
I don't want your money. I want your love, okay? I just want your love, okay? Thank you so much for letting me do this, but yeah, sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine. Honestly, you're an honest gem, Accel, and I really want to thank you for helping me make SubZero.
No, thank you for letting me help you.
My god. And I also want to thank Shinji also. He's also the one who helps in editing as well.
Shinji is amazing.
He's amazing. Like I saw the teaser for like episode like 1, like in terms of the
Don't tell them.
Oh, okay. But like
no spoilers, but it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be, oh my god. I just saw teasers and I'm like, holy shit. Oh my god, you guys are going full out. But yeah.
Well, like we saw a teaser and we're like, oh, this is great. And then it came back like, what was it, 2 days later? Yeah, Shinji helped. Here it is now. And we're like, oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah, in your question, June, I think in terms of like fantasy aspect, I think that's like a more technical thing. There's like the characters act like your romantic like love triangle thing, and that's not a problem. It's just like, I guess, like it's more of the backgrounds of like, because it's dragons, and then there's like a palace, and then there's like it more fantasy kind of aspects. And honestly, if you think you're putting too much work, you're absolutely not. Just draw what you want to draw, girl, honestly, and we will do so much to make it sound as realistic as you hope to be. So honestly, just do what you want to do.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was just gonna say, fun fact. The other day when Fig and I were recording for episode 2, was it episode 2? Episode 2. Fig cannot scream dragon.
Really?
She had such a hard time with that.
I mean, it's not that I can't scream. It's just like, I don't know how Clove would scream. So.
And then she kept messing up, like, she would be like,
when she stutters like dragon, I was like, I take like each line precisely, so it's like dragon, or do I say like dragon or dragon?
It was like and then dragon.
That part is hard. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Because see, when I make it in my mind, I a lot of the times I'll say it out loud so I can tell that it flows and doesn't sound choppy or weird. But I mean, I can understand how acting it out would actually be so much worse.
Yeah, she would have kept doing the line for like ever and ever to the end of time if I hadn't been like, stop, we're good.
Yeah. No, I mean, you guys
do it over if we have to later.
You guys do good. I mean, I trust you guys. You guys do a good job. I think like it just still blows my mind that people are reading my comic, and for me, I'm just the person behind the screen sometimes, so it's almost surreal when I hear that, like if I meet somebody who reads my comic, or I'm just like, whoa, I'm taken aback because I like to sit on the sidelines in a way, but I mean, I'm just so touched and moved whenever I see like you guys. I know you're doing this for just out of love for the comic, and I can't express how thankful I am to just see how much work you guys put in just to like to promote it essentially, So thank you guys so much for that.
Thank you so much for existing and making this comic, girl.
I know, right?
Like honestly, it's like so fun, and we usually like whenever a chap like it gets updated, usually me, Katie, and like another good friend of ours, Allie, would like immediately like cold read it, and then sometimes if the other castmates are
try
free,
and drag fill in.
Yeah. And we should totally let you hear like the cold reads happening, girl. You need to hear. Come on.
I can't. If I put art as soon as a chapter gets posted, I usually disappear for 30 minutes. Like I throw away my phone, I throw away social media because I don't want to know. Like I'll update Twitter, be like, "Hey guys, it's out," and I sound really, really happy and like, oh, really relaxed. But truly, I think this is for a lot of creators. Like everybody has a panic attack before they post because there's just sometimes you're afraid that, oh my gosh, there's gonna be like a spelling error or something that I just didn't catch. So it's very stressful for me, but usually when I come back, really it's always like a lot of love and a lot of really nice comments. Of course, you'll see a couple of mean comments here and there, but mostly it's just people who are very passionate about what they have to say. So at the end of the day, I can't be angry.
No, it's your own work. So yeah, but yeah, I know that was a long answer for your question, but yeah, that's how I would answer that. Do you have any other questions?
I can't really think of any off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
We spoke a lot in that answer, so I don't know, whatever you guys want to ask.
Oh, okay, so we'll move back to our questions, and it's just gonna be like a cycle. So our questions, audience questions, and then June, your questions. So we'll go back to our questions, and this is my third question actually. So my third question is, if you had the opportunity to collaborate with other webtoon or non-webtoon artists, who would you want to collaborate with?
This is hard because it's like me picking a favorite, which is
It doesn't have to be one. It could be multiple, honey.
I mean, in general, I feel like I try to do. For me, it's not as much of like collaborating as in I want to. If I were to collaborate, I want to collaborate with somebody whose art style in a way fits mine. And I think, like for example, I love You a lot. I read it.
Oh, I love that.
It's such a good comic. I could talk about it all day. But it's like I feel like me and her art style would just clash because I'm so painterly and she's so like she's really good at her line work. And for me, it's just my line work. If you really look at it up close, it can be a little bit like sketchy. So it's more of a style clash. I'd say Lifelike because both of us do historical, and I think me and her could do like a pretty good, decent collab. I've also yeah, that's like the first thing that comes to mind. Honestly, I just like her. I guess because we share that kind of historical setting, I think me and her could come up with something interesting. So I feel like one day we should collaborate. I've never actually collaborated or anything like that, but I think it would be a cool idea.
Yo, I would be totally up to dub that collaboration.
Any
you
of them.
guys,
Mhm.
any of them, all of them. I would totally.
I would love to see like Clove and Cairo at least like in My Dear Cold-Blooded King like outfits and like the setting.
Yes,
that would be so cute.
Oh, I know she's actually fan-arted Clove at one point, and I fan-arted May when she was first started. Like when she first got featured, I fan-arted May. That's how I started talking to her. A little bit of a a move on my part, kind of get close to her. And like I'm being completely honest. I mean, I obviously liked Cold-Blooded King, but and I didn't really think she was gonna talk to me or anything like that. I was on Discovery. She's like featured artist, right? So for me, I remember drawing like May, and she talked to me. She was like, "Oh my God, this is so pretty." Blah blah blah. She's and ever since then we've been talking. So it's really cool. Lifelike really, I think she's like such a sweet soul. Like she sees somebody that she thinks has like potential, and she'll like lift them up as much as possible. So yeah, I have to thank her. She gave me so much free promo during the times I was on Discover. It's honestly crazy.
Aww.
That's
so sweet.
But
yeah,
oh my God, I will totally offer that collab. I will even try to find a way to message her and be like, you and June should do a collab.
if she has time, if I have time, if we have time, we should do. Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, that was my third question. Next, Accel, you may ask your next question.
Hi. Okay.
yes.
When SubZero returns in July, will it be on FastPass?
Ooh.
What are your thoughts on FastPass as well?
Okay, so yes, it's going to be on FastPass. I didn't go on hiatus just so I could like make things for FastPass, unlike a lot of people think. I needed time to like recover from working 2 jobs. Like I did not have like a very healthy schedule and just work schedule in general. So I really need time off, especially when you're always doing a comic, and it takes so much out of you. As for FastPass, I feel like the original reaction immediately, and I've read comments, I see a lot of people get upset when they're like, oh my gosh, I can't afford this, I can't. But the truth is, I can't see a downside to it, because it's almost like, number one, if you really convert it, it's extremely cheap. It's like 50 cents per chapter. And if you put in the amount of time that individual creators put in, like that's all you're really paying, like 50 cents. But also it's not mandatory. Like you don't have to pay at all to see like any chapter. You're still gonna be on the same schedule, like they're releasing one a week. And if you want to pay like 50 cents extra for a chapter, you get to have that opportunity. So I think a lot of people kind of frown upon that, but just as a creator and somebody who who's on the other side, like you guys can't imagine just how beneficial it is for us creators. Like it's the reason FastPass is the reason I don't have to work 2 jobs. It's the reason I don't have to kind of like sleep 3 hours a night and like go to a day job, and it's because it's like it provides creators with like an extra incentive almost on top of what they already have. So yes, it's gonna have fast pass, and I'm like excited for it, if you can say. But I don't think it's like, my thoughts on it is just, webtoons at the end of the day, it is a company, and they do also have to make money, and like they have to pay us too. So it's like they really, at the end of the day, you're still gonna get your content. It's still free, and if you want the option and you want to support creators, and it really does support us a lot, like you have that option to like pay extra for fast pass. Like I originally was a little bit like those people. I sort of frowned upon the idea of just having to pay money, but I just can't look at it that way, because I went to business school and I completely see that side of it. So like I don't really see a downside to it, and I don't think people should be as mad about it as they are, because like I said, it's only like 50 cents, and you don't have to go through it. It's completely your choice. It's completely an option. You don't have to like, I think people scream a little louder than they should about it. Truthfully, for me, it's just like it's just gonna be there as an option, but I'm gonna resume making the comic as I usually do, no matter what.
Good.
That's
Take
good.
my money.
Take my money.
Sorry, I went way deeper into that than I.
No,
But yeah.
No, really good.
It's really good to put in all of your thoughts in the question. This is mostly about you. The stream is all about you, honey. So. So.
I see one that's like, will Chloe still have her bangs? And yes, she's still gonna have bangs. I see a lot of people say that they don't like her hairstyle, but I'm like, too bad, I'm gonna keep it.
Don't
I
listen
love
to
her hair.
I'm sorry, what?
You rarely ever see anybody with bangs in a webtoon. Like, it's not something you see too much.
I think I just like bangs because they make the character look. It's almost like a youthful thing. They make her look youthful, and I had bangs as a kid, like for years and years. Nowadays I don't, but like I just like giving her bangs, and I don't know why a lot of my characters have bangs.
I dig them, girl. Anyways, next question is for Katie.
All right. Do you have plans for any future webcomics after SubZero?
Oh my goodness, I have so many. Like at this point, I almost can't even decide which one I want to do next. Because growing up, I always had all these stories. I love to do another historical, but at the same time, I kind of also want to deviate and maybe something more, either slice of life or I always like sci-fi in a way. So I was thinking maybe I'll do a sci-fi, and then maybe I also kind of want to genre to not just make it like a romance. I kind of want to do a comedy or something like that. So it really depends. As for now, I have SubZero planned out to be a couple, like at least 100 chapters long. So depending on what happens by the end, I'll probably have some story baked up in my mind, and I'll just decide to I'll probably decide which one I'm gonna do then and there. So right now they're all baking. Like the ideas are just all baking.
Keep baking, honey. Just keep baking.
Keep baking. Keep making that. You know what? I'll shut up. I couldn't even think of it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Anyways, okay, we'll still do probably one more or two more questions from us. Okay. My next question is, how does it feel seeing the work change from Discover to featured in SubZero?
For the most part, I'm actually really happy. I mean, I know a lot of people when I started, they hated the feature version. They were like, Discover was so much better, the art was better, and then I was comparing them like side by side, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
that's what I said.
So it can be a little bit disheartening when people were saying like, this is better, but for me, I'm really happy with the way it like turned out. Obviously, there's things that might change from Discover, and those were like decisions about, it's after talking with hours and hours on end with my editor. So I finally came to, like, I trust him with a lot. So I made the decision to change things, but that's just the way that like webcomics are. You have to be flexible to change kind of ideas or tweak certain things. But I'm happy with the art, and I'm kind of the things that have changed. Clearly, like a few of the earlier episodes draw this, but you can only redraw so many times, and it's never gonna be perfect, like you always say. But for the most part, I'm happy. I'm happy the direction that it's going and the things that I've been able to accomplish so far. So yeah.
Yeah, just be proud of your work. And honestly, I actually like some of the changes in the feature version, especially in that one moment, like me, Katie, and Ruka know, and we were like, "This didn't happen, but it did." So
yeah, I mean, characters like
ooh.
after he gained like 30 pounds of muscle or 50 pounds of muscle, he grew up a lot faster. What can I say? And it's just it's style change also. I think a lot of artists just their things evolve over time, and it's been 2 years since I started, so things are bound to change.
No,
Yeah.
it's agreeable. But yeah, just be proud of your work, girl. Embrace it. Just be happy that it's the story that everyone is enjoying as of right now.
I try to, yeah.
Because
I try to.
you're fine, honey. Okay, I think. Okay, next, Accel, your next question.
Hey, okay, hold on. I think. Oh, it said the live stream went offline. Never mind.
Did it?
Okay,
Did it?
but my question. I think it connected. But
Okay.
what was my question? It was about the main characters. Like, when you designed them, like, were you inspired by anybody in like real life from animes, movies, TV shows?
I don't want to, like, of course, but I don't want to give away certain things because I just feel like,
Oh shit.
I'm not even gonna name them, because I start comparing, like, oh, clearly this anime character inspired so and so. So I don't want to give 100% away. A mixture of things that inspire the character, even design. But there's some things that are ingrained in me. Like I didn't know what Aaron was gonna look like, but I knew he was gonna have blue eyes, and like a headband. I don't know. I was just married to the idea. But Cliff's hair changed like 20 times. I couldn't figure out whether to make like a blondie or like give her like dark hair or something. Originally, I was thinking of more pinkish blonde, if you can imagine, but then I think I got kind of lazy, and whenever I would shade it, it just turned red, this red orange, so it became
It was meant to be.
So it just changed as like the story progressed. But yeah, definitely, I'm always inspired by like anime or things I watch, movies, things like that. Obviously a lot of drama. I think I get a lot of ideas from. I watch a lot of dramas just because it's almost like a need at this point. So you can always see that palace life is very intricate, like beautiful. So you can't always things are without looking at the real thing, if you can say. But so I always watch dramas to make sure that I'm kind of the look of the palace is at least something that I want, that it conveys the same kind of luxury and grand. But yeah, like I definitely say characters. They have characters that I really like from anime and dramas in general. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like listening, but like I was getting messages from like Ruka and saying that you were kind of breaking up a lot.
Shoot.
Yeah, no,
Really?
because my stream was like going on and off, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to stop it.
No.
But at the same time,
I can slow down. Yeah.
No, you're fine, honey. I think it's just my internet being a dumb piece of crap. So that may be me, but you're fine, honey. I don't know if we could move on to the next question. Well, probably they have the footage, so I think we could move on. Don't worry about it, June. Honestly,
Okay.
I think it was just some technical difficulties from like the signal, so we'll just keep moving on. Anyways, next, Katie, are you still here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay.
I haven't left except for that one time you guys never knew I went to the bathroom.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, your next question, Katie.
Yeah, my next question is, what other creators and artists do you look up any influence in your artwork?
Other creators. So I mean,
And
whenever
any kind of like artist.
any artist, jeez, there's so many artists that I like. Growing up, I was kind of I was into making webcomics, but when it comes to art, inspired by just pure illustrators or artists that were like illustrators, so or mangaka. Like there's a mangaka that I really like, Karakara Kimuri, and she did a comic or a manga called Laughing Under the Clouds. I think that was the name of it. But it's just I love the amount of detail in her character's clothing, and it's also it's just such a beautifully inked comic. And I think you can, if you really compare stuff, you can tell that I stole some things from her. Like the way she draws her character's eyes, I really like. I stole that basically. I really looked into that. And then as for other webtoons creators, I think there's things that I picked from many artists that I kind of want to be like. Like for example, Mongi's anatomy is always like flawless. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I really wish my anatomy was as good as her. And so is Kimchi. I always want to be able to kind of convey as much emotion as her characters do. I feel like sometimes my characters are like they're too pretty. Like I'm too scared to make their face ugly if they're crying or anything like that. So I like it whenever like Kimchi's characters. I think Miso paints so beautifully. Like from Siren's Lament, I think I always love the expressions whenever Lyra's crying because she looks like she's in so much pain, and I really like that. So there's definitely things from each creator that I like that I want to steal. If I
Yeah. No, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, hold on. I'm just like okay. Okay, no, the stream is still going. I'm like constantly checking on the status, and it I think it just went from a little like buffering during that moment, but I think it should be fine now. Hold on, I'm trying to find this one question. Let's take a little break and move on to the audience because I saw a lot more questions coming from the audience now. So
okay.
No, not that one. Wait. There's actually a lot of good questions towards the end, so I'm trying to find it. Okay. From one of the questions, I don't know if I want to like butcher the name, but Seher Khan asks if you could do a crossover with another webtoon, which one would it be? That's like one of the questions. Oh god.
I think for sure I would do like Life Flight because we share the set. I think seamless, and I've actually considered putting Fujioka in the comic actually at some point, but at this point it's just I know she's busy. I know we're both busy, but like I considered like because we just share that historical setting, so I think it would be pretty seamless too, or a fun little quirky thing because I think because my comic is the way it's set, it's almost very difficult to do like cameos of characters I really like. For example, I really like Winter Moon, but it's hard to put those characters in my setting, even though it's this fantasy world. It's squeezed them in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've put April Flowers. The name is she has her character. I've put her in as a maid before, but it's very like for the most part, it's really difficult. So that's why I think Lifelight and I would have fun doing something like that.
No, I definitely see you and Lifelight doing something together. I could
Yeah.
honestly see
Because right, Ryu and Cairo in one room.
Mhm.
Yes! Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm calm. One question from Lena Arby. This one is so do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a cat and a dog, and they get along great, surprisingly. And I really like the attitude that cats have. I think I always thought I was a cat person, but having a dog, it's like it's very different. They're so needy. They're like children. So I think having both. Yeah, that's it.
No, you're fine. Another question from Eli or Ellie Lee. She asks, why did you choose to use dragons, or what have you thought about like that idea? And then, by the way, I love SubZero hearts.
Thank you so much for reading it, for reading my comment. So I've always been really into fantasy, and I think dragons aren't just an aspect of that. Dragons are a spectacle, I think, so they really stand out. So I think when it comes, especially, I'm pretty good at. I will say I have trouble. I tend to struggle drawing humans times, but when it comes to dragons, like animals in general, that's really where I get to shine or show off in a way. So like I just always wanted a fantasy aspect in my stories because I refrain from writing slice of life just because for me it's too boring. Like I need something interesting to happen. Drawing dragons and in general, so I definitely put them in because I thought, but I really like the idea, especially when setting like dragon plays such like an important. And I think I will say also when it comes to I was also inspired by have you guys watched Spirited Away?
Spirited
Like
Away,
I think a lot of people have pointed out that the dragons are kind of they look like what's his is it Haku? I don't remember the character's name. Like that character, and I think the whole exchange aspect that's part of something that I kind of like I kind of wanted to integrate it in my story somehow. So yes, are inspired by that, but I also did a lot of research or tests to kind of draw my own dragons and look original, make them just yeah. So I'll say is draw dragons because I think it's fun, and they're very flashy, and it's like a spectacle.
I think it really fits for the comic. Honestly, I think I really like the concept of using dragons and.
I find them absolutely beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
No problem, honey. Okay, next question. From Haley Wilford. She asked, I guess, if you like ever make like physical copies of comics. She asked, will you ever sell your comics in stores? Like, I guess having it physically published.
I think there's something with my con. So as of now, I think a lot of many of the webtoons that you're reading, they're like exclusive to webtoons. So many of them, there is I think after 3 years, I can publish it, or no, I don't remember the exact time frame, but there's a time frame in which I can start publishing it, and then a time frame which I can't, and it has to stay exclusive to webtoons. And I mean, I completely understand. I do think I'm allowed to do like prints and other things, but as of now, like printing the physical comic, and I know that I know Mongi's she's doing like a print of her story, so I know it's possible, but I just think about the costs to actually produce a comic like that, because the cost of just printing all that ink, and it has to be in full color. I can't do it in black and white, but I'm almost hesitant to say like, oh yeah,
do you self-publish it, or do you go, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So for now, I don't really have plans to publish the comic. I definitely have plans to like merch and things like that, but not like a physical printed version of the comic, just because of like overhead costs that we'd incur. I can't imagine how thick it would also have to be. Like it probably like 5 inches thick if it was just even encompassing the 30 chapters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's reasonable, and I think just I've always enjoyed more like art, like electronic like comics rather than physical, because you could just like scroll down and stuff. So I just kind of like more of that concept, but I guess there are some people who would love like a more physical copy, and I understand that people have their own preferences, and that's fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This question actually interested me because I wasn't sure if this actually was mentioned in SubZero. But she from Olivia Joyce. She asked, "How did you come up with the name of the kingdoms?" Also, I love your art so much. One of my favorite webtoons. I don't remember if the kingdoms were like mentioned, or I probably was just like.
I mean, it's and Cerulean and
So I mean. Yeah, they basically the names like Vermilion are red, right? Vermilion and crimson is the same color. And then Azure. For me, it was just I remember originally I was struggling because I didn't know what to call them, but then I was just named after dragons, easy. And the dragons were I remember the dragons were originally black and blue. So, or I was originally his Cairo's kingdom was gonna be something like obsidian. Right? I've always wanted something that kind of rhymed, but I decided the dragon actually looked a little bit more red, or people were saying it was a red dragon. So I just kind of went with, red and blue they're always used as just in media as like to show contrast and to show like opposing forces. So I said, let's just go with this. And yeah, that's really where I came up with it. The dragon, Vermilion and Cerulean dragon, and then the shorter version, Crimson and Azure. Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
I like that. The names even sound like really fancy, and I really like that.
I went sound like, how do you make it sound like more regal in a way?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next one. I'm just trying to get through most of the questions until
get through as many as possible.
Okay. From Amanda Mendez, for Junepurr, are you making up the story as you go, or you already have the story planned, like whole planned? So
so yes and no. Basically, like when I have my plates down, I know exactly there's certain scenes in my mind that I always have. And so basically what happens is every chapter, I try to fill in the gaps between those. I don't think it's possible to fully plan out every single detail. And especially when I was first making the comic and when I started working with an editor, it was really difficult to think I wanted them on paper. So I could script out an entire thing, and then like my editor would say, you need to change this. So I try to keep things very flexible. So basically I have an idea, and every week I solidify, I solidify what happened in that chapter, information I'm going to reveal, and what you're going to withhold for later. And it's almost like a checklist, like, okay, I revealed, and then we need to reveal this next episode. So it's planned, but it's also being made at the same time. Like I leave a lot of space for myself so I can improvise if something happens. I'm trying to not, write myself into a corner. So, and I think that's how the majority of webtoons readers are. I don't write like without having any idea what's going to happen, because I think that can catch up to you really quick, and then people can tell that, it shows in the comic. If so I have an idea, but I do make things up as I go in a way.
So it's a combination of both, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, and also added on from Amanda, are you ever gonna do like a gender bin of something, like a gender bin submission?
I think I already did one in Discover.
Yeah, I
did
remember
one.
it. I
I
do
never
remember it.
saw-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
I
look
was
at
just
those
late.
drawings.
I think
Yeah.
It was in like one of those like specials, right?
Like a bonus, yeah.
like a bonus.
I did. Yeah, I did one. It was really short. I didn't do all, which I kind of regret, but I do kind of want to do an updated one, maybe.
Ooh, I would
Yeah.
love to see. Ooh,
Yeah, if I have time, I'll squeeze it in. Because I think it is fun to just do a different take and see, like Kyra with his feminine features, but he would just end up looking like his mom.
I mean, his mom looks amazing, so not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait. Oh, okay. This is not for June.